Hey, I'm Wendy.
And I'm Megan.
Alright. Hey, I'm Wendy.
And I'm Megan.
I never start usually. That's funny. Okay, today we're talking podcasts.
So on the iPhone, how do you get podcasts?
Okay, so what I did is I download the podcast app from the iTunes store.
Free.
It's free, and they have one for Android too. I'm an iPhone girl, so but I know they have a podcast app for Android too.
Yeah, I think Stitcher Radio is one of them.
That's it. What's the first podcast you've ever listened to?
The Nerdist. Yes.
They're Nerdist. Mine was the Jillian Michaels show. You know Jillian Michaels, the fitness
do.
girl?
Does she still?
Fitness girl. Fitness bazillionaire. She still does it. She records an episode once a week, or she releases an episode once a week, and it's not just about fitness. It's about lifestyle, and she takes questions from callers. It's really good. Tell us about the Nerdist.
So The Nerdist was my very first podcast, and The Nerdist is very guest dependent for me. My very favorites are the Hostful podcasts, which are the ones with Chris and Jonah and Matt Myra. I know, I love Matt Myra, and I like their rapport together. If you want to go back and listen to some of the old ones, the ones with Neil Patrick Harris are hilarious. One of my favorite ones was the Dominic Monaghan from Lost. He has the best accent ever. And sometimes it's someone I've never heard of, and I hit play and I find the person like totally charming and amusing. There is a lot of swearing. It is not a listen in the car with your children sort of podcast.
What I like about the Nerdist is you can go back and those episodes are free.
Most of them are like that. This American Life is one of the few that charges.
Yes, so This American Life is another podcast. It's been around for a really long time. It's really great storytelling, and it's different every week. Serial was born from that, but definitely check out This American Life.
It's another one of my favorites.
No.
I love Ira Glass, the way he talks so much.
I like your shirt. Tell us why you're wearing a shirt that says Andy on it.
Wendy and I have bonded over our mutual love of the Totally franchise of podcasts. My shirt says
Elizabeth Lame and her husband, Andy Rosen.
Andy Rosen. And the original podcast is Totally Lame. They have a guest every week, and it is ending and probably over by the time you are watching this. But all of the old episodes are there, and I imagine they're going to remain live for a while.
Yeah.
And she's had some great guests on there.
Great guests that have totally opened me up to like other avenues of people, comedians, actors, television writers, YouTubers, like people I've never heard of before, and phenomenal, fun storytelling. They play games, they just have regular conversation. Totally Lame was my favorite, and then I transitioned to Totally Married, which is now by far my #1 favorite.
And Totally Married is Elizabeth and Andy together talking about marriage, and then they take listener questions and give them advice, and Andy's advice is often balance. If things are not looking good, and I gotta tell you, I agree with him.
So do I.
And as an offshoot of that, there's now Totally Mommy. And Totally Mommy, Elizabeth has a mommy guest every week, and they also take questions and they talk about mommy life. And I like that it's not super schmoopy. I think it's a really realistic look at parenthood.
Right.
It's a little heavy on like babies and toddlers.
I agree.
Because that's her phase of life. So I'd love to see some moms with older kids on that show. Just saying.
And then Andy has his own show, which is called Tea Bash, or Totally Beverages and Sometimes Hot Sauce. Do you listen? Are you a regular listener?
I don't listen to every single one, but I am a semi-regular listener.
So funny.
It is so funny, and who would have thought?
I don't know. Not Elizabeth.
No.
I listened to it's not a new podcast. It's been out for like a year, but it's about a show that used to be on called Gilmore Girls. But the podcast is called Gilmore Guys.
I love it.
It's two dudes talking about Gilmore Girls.
I need to start listening.
And it's pretty funny. I have to say, they go episode by episode. If you watched Gilmore Girls, you know it wasn't just a teen soap. It was complex relationships, and they like talk about it and they make fun of it. And yeah, it's a good one.
I am excited.
You should be. I didn't know you listened to Reply All.
I do.
Do you like it?
I do.
It's new. I've only listened to the first couple of episodes.
I haven't listened to them all. Whoops. I don't know how to stop it. Hold on.
But of course I found Reply All from Startup, which is so fascinating. It's a guy who's documenting starting up his own company, which is a like podcast broadcasting network.
A series about what happens when someone who knows nothing about business starts one. And it's Alex Blumberg from This American Life.
Right.
And so those two podcasts kind of go together.
Agree.
But if you like that This American Life style of speaking, because they do have a very particular cadence on that show, if you like that, these kind of mimic that.
Totally. So, what are you guys listening to? Do you guys listen to podcasts? If you do, leave us a comment and let us know.
Hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and we'll be back with more videos real soon.
Soon. Bye.
Bye.